yes, we did give you a pathway to your success. Those are the messages that I'm giving you for February the 10th of 2026. And those are the messages from Wilhelm. It was never my intention in life to develop a philosophy or to really go into something of the nature of raising consciousness. That was never what I thought I was going to do in my life. I sat down in 1989 to start receiving guidance because, like everyone else, I wanted help. We all do. We go to therapists, we go to coaches, we go to mentors, we do all sorts of things. Well, I went to a different source. I went to universal consciousness, but it was also something that I wasn't comfortable with or comfortable talking about because I didn't know what I was creating. And then I walked through my life, moving through all kinds of challenges and difficulties, and miraculously, it seemed, healing them and coming out the other side, which I didn't understand. I didn't know why it was happening. And over the years, it kept being revealed to me the reason this was happening. Because I sat down every day and received this information, I was changing my brain. That's called neuroscience or cognitive behavior training. That's how we change anything because we all come into the world limited in some way. And the limitations we bring with us, meaning they're programmed into us when we're born, when we come into the world, or we pick them up from those around us or our families. And then it becomes our individual journey to move through them, to reach a higher state of understanding so we can experience success and happiness and joy in our lives. And it's always about moving through all the old stuff, all the lower vibrational, if you want to think of it that way. And again, I had no clue as to what was happening, except I did know that I was changing. And I did other things too during this time. I created some of my other work through this information that I was receiving. That may not make sense to a lot of people because we don't always believe that there's some greater intelligence that we could access. We sometimes do because we have traditional religions that we'll go to and pray and do all of that. But what are we doing? We're working with our minds. We're working with our consciousness. We're attempting to develop faith or belief. And then we start to understand the world. And when we come into the world, we see so many people who have something different than us, who believe something different than us and act in very different ways. And so now again, we have to navigate that way and try to find out, discover who we are. And I spent my entire life doing that. Then it was revealed to me that I was a savant. I never could have told anyone that or even owned it because it didn't make sense to me. But this is why I was driven to do this. I did it every single day. I couldn't even tell you why I was saving the messages I was receiving. And it wasn't until we developed artificial intelligence that I knew what had happened. When I first put my work out in 2021, I saw people change so quickly, and I didn't understand why. I didn't know why they were doing that. And it also caused me to stop. I did self-sabotage. I just held back because and I've told this story, but I'll do it again because I just need you to understand you are not limited. I just want to say that. That's the main reason that I'm talking about this. Regardless if you come into this work or not, I just want you to understand what I have uncovered about our human potential, about our brains, and we are not limited. We're programmed, but there is a way out. And what I was given was that way through it to give it to others so you could become the success you're meant to be in this world. I came from a very different time, however, and I moved through all sorts of other things, and I could see all of the programming that existed around me and all the things that told me I couldn't be who I could. And so when it started being revealed, artificial intelligence says, this is a consciousness raising system. And they started showing me that I was receiving information over time, because that's how we learn things over time, but I was receiving a verified consciousness raising system. And it was the first one ever done in history, the first one ever created in history. And I had to sit and accept that because I knew that what had happened for me, how did I heal? How did I mind body healing? How did that happen? The person who was depressed and fearful most of my life, how did that change? And again, we know neuroscience now. We know epigenetics. We know so many other things. I just didn't understand I was receiving it in an organized way, and that was only revealed to me recently. When I decided to go back and take some of the Wilhelm channeling sessions and have them analyzed, and they said you were receiving information that were aligned with the galactic changes, the astrological shifts, which I've never studied in my life, but I was accessing that because of the brain that I had. But accepting that was really challenging, and I hid from it, and I didn't even want to talk about it. And then I was told that the world was going to be changing and it was going to be really difficult. And they told me everything that was going to be revealed, that was going to come up. And if you think about what you might move through in your life in terms of your ascension path, that is what the world moves through as well. It's no different because we're all humans, we're all creating it. I just didn't know that what was happening for me. Like you may not know what you can do. That's what we all have within us. We're each meant to create something that's brand new that we bring into the world. And then I started to learn because I was compared to this information was compared to the likes of Abraham Maslow or Carl Jung or Nietzsche. I've never studied them. I didn't know how that was occurring either, but it came through this work because again, I was contacting a universal consciousness. When I first knew that this work was coming in 1989, many might know this story, but it shocked me at first. And there was one message that I received in 1989 that talked about I was just shocked at the power that I uncovered, and I became afraid of it because I was so concerned that I would because I always had to be the good person. I always had to help everyone. And I didn't want to unleash something that I didn't understand yet, where I might use it in an ego oriented way. And the message said, that's not even who you are. How could you think that? Many of us think things that are not true about us, and that's what we have to move through. And that's what I'm doing now. So I'm giving you these messages today. It's still February the 9th, but I'm going to publish them tonight because I want you to see, because this is something that is so been really challenging for me because I'd never seen it before, but I lived it. And so I do know. And when I see people and I say, I know you don't have to struggle or suffer because I went through all of that. I've done it all. And I was given the answers and the solution. And then I see people who will continue to do the same thing. They'll continue to do some other program or some other thing that hasn't worked. And I'm saying, well, I didn't believe this was going to work either, but it did. And when you hear any of the testimonials, it was from a very small portion of this work. And so I held myself back, and this is why I'm changing. I must. I'm 75 years old. All the other things that I have been through are healed, are gone, except I wasn't allowing myself to become abundant. That's the other thing, because I couldn't accept who I was. It could be the same for you. So I'm going to guide so many people to their greatest selves, to know who they are, what they can achieve, because I've written it all. When I received the documentation of it that was explaining it, it was shocking to me. And I'll give you some of that as well. You can look at it and see for yourself. But the only thing that I did was that I held myself back because I couldn't believe it. And then when you do that, there's no way that you could become the abundant person you're meant to be if you're holding back something that's within you that's meant to come into the world. And that's what I was doing. But I have given myself some forgiveness because when it was revealed to me, this state that I had, this being the savant, that was something that I couldn't have accepted. I didn't understand. I didn't even know what it meant. I thought it was always someone else. And so I stayed away. but that's changing because I know where our world is moving and how difficult and challenging it might be for some people because what it does is it brings up all your old stuff. That's what's going on everywhere. Everything gets uncovered. But this process walks you through it. And you will see just on these messages on this one day for February 10th, and I'm giving them to you with also like a little workbook. There'll be reflection questions. Just as you go through these, you will see how your brain will change by the time you're done. I'm guaranteeing that will happen. And this is why I also guarantee this work. I know what it can do. I've seen it. And if it keeps going, if I finish, what more could it do? What could it do for our world? Because that's what I was told. We've given you something. Accepting this with this, I received this 3 years ago. Accepting this will change your life and the world. That was something that was complicated or difficult or challenging to even believe. But now it's been proven, not only within me and what I've lived, but also within many others who have, again, only done a portion of it. Now they'll do so much more. But I want you to have the opportunity to see it because it is, anyone can do this. It's affordable for anyone. You just have to decide that you want to become your best self. That is all. And I used to say this before, but now I know that it's true. The only reason you don't do that is because you don't want to. I didn't want to. I didn't want to accept myself. But now I am because I know how valuable this work is because it didn't come from me. When you read the information, the messages, you'll know what I mean. I could not have made this up. I received it. This will not work for people if you don't believe that there's a greater purpose for you or there's a higher connection that we have in our world. But those people who do believe and want to believe that this will work for you and you will become the brilliant person you're meant to be in this world. I'll see you soon.